Anyway, we're going to take a look now at the race for LA County District Attorney. We've been doing that for quite a while now, and joining me now is Jackie Lacey, a 26-year veteran of the DA's office. She is now running for the top spot, and this all started when we brought in Carmen Trutanich, who had made some claims, and then, you know, the LA Times took him to task for not owning up to those claims. It seems, however, that even though you have the endorsement of Steve Cooley, the district attorney, it's Carmen Trutanich who is getting the lion's share of the publicity. Good or bad, it's still publicity. Why do you think you haven't been able to gain traction?
Well, I disagree with you.
Okay.
I think that our campaign is gaining momentum. Carmen Trutanich is gaining the wrong type of publicity. You know, he lied about some endorsements that he said he had. It turns out those organizations endorsed me. He paid for the YouTube hits that were false. He went down in flames for using a ballot title that wasn't his. And he used the sheriff in uniform illegally in a commercial. Our campaign is gaining momentum. I think what people want is they want a career prosecutor who's not a rock star. That's not who you want in charge of your justice system. And it is my belief that people are starting to find out about me and will vote for me in the election.
I talked to Steve Cooley and asked him about his endorsement of you, and he said you have more management experience than all the other candidates put together. Obviously, he has chosen you for the #2 spot at the DA's office. Yes. And yet, you don't, I want to go back to endorsements. You don't have the endorsement of the governor. You don't have the endorsement of the sheriff. Yeah. I'm not sure if you have the endorsement of either the mayor or the police chief. Maybe you can correct me on those. Are those endorsements key to winning this race if you want to get out the message that you're the best manager?
I think the endorsements that are key are the people who know about the justice system. I have the endorsement not only of Steve Cooley, but I have the endorsement of Mike Judge and Wilbur Littlefield, both the prior public defenders of LA County. I've got more contributors who are judges than anyone else. Judges know what's going on in the justice system. I have the endorsement of Congressman Howard Berman, former state senator Martha Escudio, and here's what I think will matter. I think what matters is the people in the justice system who endorse you, as well as what the media says about you, and I think those are going to be key.
Ms. Lacey, let me take you back to March of last year. The beating of Brian Stowe outside Dodger Stadium. The Los Angeles police made an arrest. They arrested a man by the name of Giovanni Ramirez. They said, "We got our guy." Mayor Villaraigosa, Chief Charlie Beck held a news conference. Your office never filed charges against him. Later did file charges against 2 others who are going to be going to court later this month. Did the chief and the mayor grandstand when they held that news conference?
In my opinion, what they did was jump the gun. What you need is maturity at this level in the justice system.
Are you saying they don't have maturity?
No, they have maturity. But I'm talking about with regard to the DA. A case comes in, and if there isn't enough evidence there, you've got to exercise some restraint. And I think that's what our office did. And that's what you have to do. Well,
your office did exercise restraint in not filing charges, but if you were district attorney, would you have gone further than Steve Cooley did and talked to the mayor and the police chief and said, "You don't want to hold a news conference, trust me. You got the wrong guy"?
Well, of course I would, but the news conference had already happened before the district attorney got a chance to talk to them. That was the problem. A lot of times they don't, you know, the mayor's an independent person as well as the police chief. They don't call and say we're holding a news conference. I think that, of course, I would have talked to them, and I believe the district attorney, had he had the opportunity, would have done the same thing.
Well, he called them grandstanders just this last weekend at a banquet.
Well, he used language. You know, I'm much more conservative in my language. I don't throw a lot of words around toward people. I just think that you've got to exercise restraint. Make sure you have the right person.
If you win this office, can you work with the men and women who have sided with your opponents prior to the election?
Of course. What you need to know is, even in spite of the election, the prosecutors that are running, we're all friends. I have worked with Carmen Trutanich, and of course I'll work with the men and women. It's my duty.
In fact, your opponents, 2 of your opponents, Danette Myers, right, if I get the name correct, who was on the Lindsay Lohan case, Bobby Grace, who is prosecuting the case of the murder of Jamil Shah. Yeah. They're both still on those cases, or at least Bobby Grace is. You could have pulled him off. You're his boss.
Well, here's the deal. Bobby Grace is an excellent trial lawyer, but in order to lead that office, it takes a different skill. It takes a leadership skill. And one of the things that a leader must do is make decisions that are in the best interest of that office. Okay. Mr. Grace is doing a fine job as a trial lawyer. There's a political world, and then there's what's going on in the office.
Final question. I know I'm way over time, sure, Chris, and I apologize for this, but you would be the first woman and the first person of color to hold the district attorney's office position since it was created in the late 1800s. Should, to our female audience, should that matter, that we would have a woman who's a district attorney?
Well, this is the way I will express it. I am the most qualified person running for the job. The fact that I'm an African American, the fact that I'm a woman, shouldn't keep me from getting that job. It shouldn't prevent people from voting for me and having their faith in me. If people look at my website and look at all the things I've done, they'll see I'm the most qualified person.
Jackie Lacey, candidate for district attorney.
Thank you.
Thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
All right.